Master pickup, but it's still something.
Yeah, I think the Beastmaster was a perfect pickup. It's solid lockdown versus the Ember Spirit, which is critically important. It's a pretty good split pusher with the Necronomicon, which comes into play with the Keeper of the Lights. You have a Disabled that goes through BKB, which is good against Gyrocopter. I think everything was favorable for this Beastmaster pickup, and allows them to be able to get initiation going into the mid-game. So I really like this pickup quite a bit, and I think Summer's Rift are... I mean, they banked on some hardcore late game here. I mean, their supports are greedy, their cores are primarily like mid to late game heroes as well. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to withstand the early pressure of Alliance, particularly with the Leshrac, but we'll see what happens.
It's the question to be answered. For now, we at least get an answer as far as our lanes go. So, Summoner's Rift, they'll be heading themselves up to the top lane. So we'll be having the Gyro with the SK. It will be Demon playing up that support SK role, which pushes Nikwa into this role as the Darkseer on the bottom lane. The man with the longest name in history as far as inside the game, which I'm still surprised that Valve have not fixed this yet, is Brax. He literally takes up like half of the screen.
Yeah. That's what Brax does, man.
Yes.
That's just what Brax does.
What was it that Nahas was saying? The reason why Brax does this is so he has the ability to cover up the health bars of the creeps in the wave.
I mean, it's distracting as all hell as well. I
mean,
it's
a huge freaking name.
It's like you're looking at like one screen away and you can still see this like name popping out. It's ridiculous.
Well, at least you'll see him coming from a mile away. Alliance, they are going to move up to run an aggro tri-lane. So as Pycat is taking up the Leshrac, and he'll be heading in towards the middle lane. But it's RK and Mad who are the man we have to look to see watch the rotation from. Loda will be taking the core PL to the top lane, and that leaves Admiral Bulldog with an interesting lane up against the Darkseer.
Yeah, this is going to be rather difficult, I think, for Admiral Bulldog. The boar spam, like especially since he can get 2 boars out, will help him against the Darkseer, but the Ion Shell spam is just inevitably going to take over. So I'm interested to see how exactly he plays this. Is he going to use the boars to help him last hit down the Ion Shell creeps, or just try and secure last hits purely through the boars, or is he going to try and harass the Darkseer at all by putting the boars potentially like behind the creep wave and go for that? But Nikwa already setting up with the double Ion Shell, easily able to get multiple CS and even a deny. So this lane going to be quite favorable for him.
This could be such a rough lane on top lane for the Gyrocopter. When you get Lanced as well as Illuminated time and time again, and Maz making the move. He couldn't find the opening before in the mid. They go Disruption into the Illuminate, and then they need one more Lance to come out from Loda. He's not in range of this, but Mad at least is. But here comes your Lance, which needs one attack from Mad. That'll be enough to finish the job. First blood will be spilled by Alliance on the top lane. It wasn't clean, but it works.
Yeah, and what does Sand King and a Warlock do for you in this situation? Like, Warlock potentially could have used Shadow Word on Gyrocopter relatively early, and like maybe that would have given enough heal to survive, but it's a very menial saving mechanism. So they're just going to get run over constantly. And then you look at the middle lane where Pycat is already pushing up against Brax.
Disruption, and there's your Luminant, there's your Lance. And when you got your Shadow Word out, but the Gyrocopter's got no more consumables really left here. The Warlock doesn't have anything to really play around with. This is G League 2 years ago, where you had, it was IG, I think were the ones who were doing it, and they run this aggressive tri-lane, but you do it with a Coddle spam, and you just know you can spam that ability after ability after ability, and you're never going to really run out of mana doing so. So you burn through the consumables, and then you control the lane. Because there's nothing else you could do on this top lane. Like, Warlock, if it wasn't for Shadow Word, it wouldn't be anything to go. But you start with the Lance again, the upheaval is there, so there's no diving underneath the tower. At the right time, it was Matt did arrive with the DD route.
One of the important things that is going to go the way of Summer's Rift is that they have this really cool Sand King Darkseer bottom lane. So Sand King is able to not only use Ion Shell to help clear through these camps, but also Sandstorm, which allows us to be able to clear through it that much quicker, so Sand King can actually jungle at level 1 and get his way to level 3 pretty quickly. And this will mean like a pretty sped up Link Decker. He can also make rotational plays against Admiral Bulldog, potentially rotating around behind the creep wave and behind the tower, catching him out with a Burrow Strike with an Ion Shell already on top of him. That could be a potential play he has in mind. So
is it worth the sacrifice though? Because you look at it and you say, well, what's really the cost? We're getting XK with some farm. You talk about all these wonderful initiatives initiation things, but I'm still seeing a gyrocopter with 2 last hits on this top lane.
It's 100% worth it, because the gyrocopter wasn't going to be like, it's not like the Sand King can change this lane in any way, right? Like, they're essentially sacking the gyrocopter and the warlock in this situation, and that's the best play. There's nothing that they could do to change this up. So I like the play. It's the best idea. The Sand King will hopefully be able to change up around the 15-minute mark, be able to make some plays, and perhaps get enough room for the Gyrocop to eventually get farm. You still have some problems with this middle lane. So the big thing about this middle lane is you're going Ember Spirit against a magic damage dealer. A magic damage dealer who's able to dish out so much magic damage that he kills Flame Guard every single time. So this means Brax has not only no protection, but no real way to threaten the Leshrac if he positions himself really aggressively. It's the same thing that you see with Zeus up against Ember Spirit. Like, you just throw one lightning bolt and bye-bye Flame Guard.
So what's Brax supposed to do here? Like, he keeps taking all the damage. Sure, okay, we accept this is going to happen. But what happens when Alliance start grouping up with more players and they start battling up against him directly? Abra Bulldog, not really the healthiest of metas. Nikwa, really getting up in his face, going to surge as well with the Iron Shell. TP support's coming in from the SD, and this will force Nikwa to run away. So Mad, he had to come down here then, or else Nickel would have stayed underneath the tower and killed off Abra Bulldog. But Demon, they put the Iron Shell in him. Mad runs up, and he's isolated. This could be the kill back for Summoner's Rift. The Iron Shell will burn through him, so the kill will go their way.
Yep, exactly what you were looking for with the Sand King rotation. Doesn't actually get the Beastmaster, but at least they still get a kill there in that bottom lane, and they force the Shadow Demon out from that top lane. Though it's still going to be easily won by Alliance. At least there's not that easy setup for free damage on the Gyrocopter. Brax has finally gotten to a point where his Flame Guard down level 3 is actually able to soak up a lightning bolts and won't disappear right away, but obviously he's still going to be feeling a lot of pressure.
Yeah, that he will. Watching top lane too, looks like they're having a little bit of a move at Loda. I don't know exactly what they think they can do though. It's aggressive posturing up against Loda, or at least doesn't have high levels. Like, it's 2 points Lance and 1 point I've been doppelganger for 5 minutes in, because he had the Coddle happy to take the experience away from him. But now they can come into their own jungle. So it's both Pycat, Arcade, and Sebastian Mad that's here in the fight, and Demons now realize what the hell's going on, and it's trying to put an end to it, because their heroes just left top lane completely. But this is them trying to flash farm up. If it's not Pycat, it's also just making sure Keeper of the Light can get more levels.
Yeah, Keeper of the Light tries to take away the stacks the Sand King has set up. I think they could afford to rotate.
Oh, they're going to go on Brax right now. Disruption, Catcher. I don't see a Spirit that's on the field at the moment. Oh, no, there is one right behind that tier 1 tower. So he jumps away. That Split Earth did not stun in time.
Yeah, it's too hard to be able to get that one. Demon, Bro Strike, and we'll be able to get the Bounty Rune, fortunately, because Mad had already used Disruption. There was no Disable to be able to stop him from getting away. I think they could actually rotate Beastmaster out of lane, and they could put the Phantom Lancer, keep the light at bottom lane now, and have the Beastmaster either go top, or probably more importantly, rotate into the middle lane. If he actually gets a Primal Roar on Brax, I think he's 100% dead.
They're actually coming back to try and kill off bottom lane. Like, the dual lanes here, maybe this is the reason why they're not moving him out yet. Okay, no, you're right. They're going to smoke up together. I thought Mad might try and go for a counter initiation, but
this could actually be really bad for them. They don't have their Leshrac, which is very important for them to be able to get their stuns. Even if they did get a Primal Roar, like, they don't have the damage to kill him within that one stun. So that was actually a smoke that was going to fail.
They got a chance on Demon. The reveal is there. The dust will be available.
Nice.
And that's going to be a very, very quick kill on the SK. And they may even get a little bit more. Disruptions out. Nikwa locked in the tree line.
Nice.
He's locked in by the illusions, but Darkseer, they're right behind him. There's your doppelganger down by Loda. They want this kill on Nikwa. With the surge away, they may not be guaranteed it, but the Lance will be there. So PL will do it, and he'll get 313 gold bonus for that one. And this is going to be exactly as you said, Loda, space to farm up. And they did have to commit the raw for this, so Admiral Bulldog can't quickly move on. That's the only downside for Alliance.
And real quickly, just to really emphasize what this laning phase did for Alliance, take a look at the CS. You have middle lane, 47 and 13 compared to 29 and 7. Huge CS difference between these two mid laners. And then you have the Gyrocopter and the Phantom Lancer. 18 and 4 on the Gyrocopter, 31 and 11 on the Phantom Lancer. Another gigantic difference, almost double the CS. So it goes to show, like, the success of this laning phase is hugely advantageous for Alliance. Even Beastmaster lane, lane was not too bad. Like, he got farm, he got full experience, and is now going to be a very critical hero in continuing to shut down the Gyrocopter and Ember Spirit. So pretty much the only hero that Summer's Rift have that is pretty farmed is going to be that Darkseer. What does the Darkseer do in the first 20 minutes of the game? Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. He's more of a catalyst. He works with other heroes. So you're talking about the combination with the Iron Shell over on the SK, like that's one way to do it. But you still need to get this Blink Dagger over on Demon, and we're 8 minutes in, and he's 1100 to 1200 gold into his Blink Dagger. So it's not a bad timing for him, but it's not the quickest in the world you'll probably ever see. At the same time, you've got Ember Spirit, who can't move to the front lines and tank because what are you really going to be looking from him? If he buys up drums, if he has a little bit more stability that way, then possibly. But Brax hasn't picked up enough. Like, we've got Poor Man's Shield, Bottle, and Boots, 8.5 minutes in. This Ember Spirit's progression is a little slow. And you're not really going to be stacking up the jungle for him because right now the SK needs to find all of that farm. So you can't just go in there with Flame Guard and do the rest of it. It's rough. I'm kind of feeling like Summoner's Rift side of the map is getting a little crowded at the moment. And there's just not enough farm coming in.
It certainly is. Demon, his Blink Dagger timing, like, he cannot afford to be interrupted, right? I don't think Alliance actually have any capabilities to run it into, like, say, the hard camp that is pretty common for the Sand King to stack up and utilize to get his Blink Dagger, but they can put a lot of pressure in the towers before that point. So, Demon, if he manages to get his Blink Dagger, he can totally upset everything that Alliance have set up for themselves, with the laning phase being won so heavily, by being able to get just, like, 1 or 2 big Blink Dagger epicenter pickoffs.
And RK's playing this Keeper of the Light so well. Even when the Gyro thinks he's safe farming in, like, he's halfway between his tier 1 and tier 2 tower, but with the Hawk that's in position, he sees every single position, and that's why the Gyro, the only place he can be is behind his tower, practically in the tree line, which means Admiral Bulldog controls his top lane. One Raw, I don't know if you've also got Mana Link available. No, he's going for just the 3-0-2 build instead, but that makes perfect sense. And actually they can loop around. So they're going to try and punish the aggression. RK going for the loop. That'll be enough to get the kill off on the Gyro. He'll still get the cooldown off, but they're going to try and TP themselves away. The Burrow Strike will do some work. Searing Chains not there from Brax. Admiral Bulldog trying to walk himself out of this one. He'll be capable of doing so. The Demon, in fact, basically all of Summoner's Rift Bar 1 is chasing him into the tree line, and they haven't got the quick kill yet. Maybe there's a Burrow Strike from Demon, takes the creep wave in, but you still haven't finished the job. He's got Shadow Word on him, so Admiral Bulldog is dead right now, but they take an extra 10 to 20 seconds to finish the job.
Space created, Toby. That's what that was. Space created. They got a Gyrocopter kill. They only lost the Beastmaster. They're getting free farm at the bottom lane. The Phantom Lancer was having a hard time dealing with the Ion Shell spam of the Darkseer, but he's actually had to go back to base, and they're able to now pressure this middle lane potentially. As
Brax should be really careful here. It's not just the initiation that can come in from Matt, it's the earlier harassment. So he takes an Illuminate and drops by 1/3 of his HP. There's no bottle charges available. He is going to try and build for this drum, so at least he's got the bracer part of it at the moment. And Upheaval, Pycap, do you want to stick around for this? Oh, then again, there's an Illuminate. Brax will dodge it. There's no one coming in from directly on the tower. Demon surged in, double Burrow Strike with the Iron Shell. There was enough with the control coming in from the Searing Chains. They can hold him there long enough, or can they? Missing up the hill. RK, he had to surge in deeper here, Nickel. He's so deep behind the tower. But they can at least stack up some poison, but, well,
they get the Leshrac as well. That was the word coming out from the Warlock, actually managing to get the kill on Pycat. So big double stun coming out from Demon that sets up both of those kills. Now it goes right back to finishing up his jungle. This is now the Blink Dagger for him. This is the point in time. Again, I said the Sand King is a hero to watch out for. I thought getting kills at that bottom lane on the Beastmaster. Turns out he actually gets 2 very critical kills for them in the middle lane and has his Blink Dagger by 12 minutes.
Man, that combo was perfect. And the fact that Alliance also grouped up for it, they're basically standing on each other's toes when that Burrow Strike arrived.
Yeah, so Pycat needed to utilize that haste rune that he had in his back pocket a little bit sooner than he did.
So it's a 12-minute Blink Dagger ring for Demon. Not bad timing. Gyro is able to pick up his Ring of Aquila with treads and a full magic wand, so that's not too bad either. There is still a lot of map damage which has been done by Alliance. You kind of expect this anyway, not just because you got a Leshrac, like Edict is one thing, but he can mop up creep waves pretty quickly, but it's also the Beastmaster pushing power. He's been doing a lot of harassment to this top tower, and then you got PL adding momentum to the bottom lane, so there's a lot of chip all across the map that Summer's Rift has to deal with.
They're going to go once again for this Shadow Demon Beastmaster duo. I really don't think they have enough damage to kill most of the heroes that they're looking at. But
if anyone else that can join them, like Connell's too far away, so is Leshrac.
it would be the Leshrac usually.
They've found Demon at least, and into the Sandstorm. Burrow Strike away, the dust does hit him, but they cannot get the initial stump. But they do force the Ember Spirit to TP up here. Admiral Bulldog will go down to the west, while they're actually jumping the wrong direction. They're chasing after Mad, but Keeper of the Light's already pulling him away. They won't damage him in time, so Arcade will pull him out to safety. That's, again, a space-created moment.
Yeah, one of the few times that you look at a smoke and they don't get a single kill or objective in any way, but I would say
it's worth it.
I mean, the number of heroes that they drew from Summoner's Rift up to that top jungle is something to be said at the very least.
Well, now it's Summoner's Rift time to go for their own smoke. So it's a three-man smoke with Jimmy being the initiating stun, of course that being Demon. That Alliance don't want to bar of this, they're already getting the hell out. They didn't have to observe what they was watching for it, but you've got a Gyro in the lane, you've got Brax on the lane, that's the only heroes who are visible currently. This just tells you something's wrong, but Admiral Bulldog just sits on top of the ward, so he doesn't really seem to care that much. A Blink Burrow Strike, Admiral Bulldog stunned up, will try and run away from this, but you're not running away. The Vac will pull him straight back in again. So a good kill here for Summer's Rift, and they've also denied that tier 1 tower in the mid.
Yeah, the game is still fairly even. The big thing is that the cores on the side of Summer's Rift are a little bit under-farmed still, only sitting at 4k on the Ember, something similar on the Gyrocopter, while you've got over 5k on both the Leshrac as well.
Demon going on bottom lane. It was a Blink Epicenter to Burrow Strike that just obliterated the SD, and Loda was in the neighborhood, but he can't do anything. He might have a double damage ring, but you don't have any vision over the SK.
Highcat, forcing that jump back from the Ember Spirit. He'll just continue to be this kind of lane dominator. I mean, I really expected to have Demon be rotating into the middle lane first to use that Epicenter against the Leshrac. I mean, he's one of the critical kills. After that, I would say definitely the Phantom Lancer, but they're not shutting down either one of these cores that Alliance are farming up so proficiently on.
It's like he came down bottom lane to find the PL, but found the SD and just accepted what he got.
I think if they really wanted the Phantom Lancer, though, he needs a secondary hero. Even just like an Ion Shell placed on him would make just that extra bit of difference, right? Because if you don't kill the Phantom Lancer in the time of that Burrow Strike Epicenter damage, like as soon as the stun is done, he's going to doppelgang away, and then he's out.
I'm interested to see too what Loda's going to be building into here. Like, is it worthwhile? Well, one, completing treads, knowing you could find yourself in a split push battle, so keeping that slot open for BTs might be a nicer option. Is it worth getting the Manta style over the Diffuser Blade?
No. I would say Diffuser Blade is still the better item.
Admiral Bulldog, the Golem's dropping. Where's your control? You've just thrown out your Chaotic Offering as well as your Call Down, and got practically nothing apart from now pressure on top of a tier 1 tower.
Oh, bottom lane, they're actually going to go for a fight here.
Yeah, watch for it, Jimmy. He's going to get the double Burrow Strike again. Back and back in. The Iron Shell's burning them all out. Pycat, with Brax coming into the fight, he cannot repel firepower of that magnitude. And that's going to be 8-4 with Summer's Rift. A quick pick-off, and they can move in for more. Maybe there's also going to be another battle on top. You got that Mana Link just draining out the Gyrocopter. The poor little Warlock was left behind, but he's still in death. The attack was thrown out, so he gets the last hit in the tower. And Brax will take this tier 1 tower on bottom lane as well.
Yeah, really good. Just to recap at that bottom fight, Ember Spirit's got a really excellent interception there with the chains to stop the Split Earth. If Leshrac lands that Split Earth, he probably would have killed maybe one, maybe even two heroes there. But because the chains interrupts that, since Split Earth is such a long animation, there was no secondary. There wasn't enough time to get off the Split Earth a second time. So
Demon. So they have Dust is coming in on Mad. Nope, they've only got the smoke available, but they're going to poison on him. Now, this is so easy to get away though. You just walk over and Burrow Strike up the cliffside. That's basically all he has to do if he gets in trouble. Or he waits for the blink. When they purge him up, Leshrac killed Darkseer in the meantime, as he did catch out the Darkseer moving down, but Brax Sleight of Fist and Chanky his Pycat away from chasing.
Anyway, going back to your question about the Diffuser Blade. Diffuser Blade is still like a much stronger item, I would say, normally on the Phantom Lancer before the Manta, but you also got to factor in the Warlock into this occasion. Like, him being able to just purge down that Golem is a huge factor, right? It's one of the primary reasons why Warlock has to be a support here, because he's facing up against a natural Diffusal carrier. Yeah.
Good point. And Loda's almost finished it too. He's got both the blades as well as having the recipe already. So, Loda's in a really good position as PL. He's the highest net worth in the field. You had also that solo kill for Leshrac, which has pushed Pycat even further up. You picked up the Bloodstone recipe, so he's basically got it already with an talisman being on that courier. Just waiting for just that last piece over at the secret shop. And then you've also got the Necro book completed on Beastmaster. It's a level 1 Necro book, but it's trying to allow Alliance like superiority during the team fight. We're hitting their magic moment.
Oh, yeah, Demon Epicenter.
Yep, he goes up, but again, it's on a solo mad. So they're doing anything else with the axes. He'll cut a path through for Admiral Bulldog, goes for the Royal, slows up Demon. He doesn't have Blink, he doesn't have Sandstorm. Mana Leak, illuminated, and the SK is going to drop, but he's worth so much more. That was actually a killing spree that was ended by Arcade.
Yeah, I think maybe he just felt like the Leshrac was tanky enough, and I think he's right. Bloodstone just recently being picked up, but he was still sitting at like 1100 HP before that. I would agree. I think that he wasn't going to be able to kill the Leshrac, and Leshrac was far enough back, he wasn't going to get any assistance with it, so he went for the Shattered Even kill instead. But bottom lane, Brax is actually going to try and have a fight here.
Yeah, but you got Pycat right behind him looking for the stun, the upheaval, but the Illuminate, it's so hard! And maybe there's even escape 14 HP down for the Gyrocopter. But it's the Beastmaster for the Ember Spirit.
Pycat trying to go for that last minute play to throw the lightning onto an ally and have it bounce to the Gyrocopter. Unfortunately, didn't actually do so. Looks like they're pretty well set up to take this tower though. Demon, they know he doesn't have Epicenter, so...
Nickot trying to run away. He tried to surge slow. Loda Persian away, and the damage is just enough to get the kill in time. So Loda stopping the escaping Darkseer. And bottom lane 2, you do have Warlock sitting in the tree line waiting for his opening with a chaotic offering, but Alliance are not going to provide it. Also those two, we've got, okay, he just finished, buddy. It's a Blink Dagger for the Warlock. So they're just trying to get the positioning for the ultimate and not just the direct Ags upgrade.
And Upheaval. I mean, Upheaval is, I would say, the most important spell that Warlock has in his arsenal this game. This game particularly, since there's such an early diffusal, your Golem's not going to be that effective. Like, it's, yeah, you drop a 1 second stun on everybody, that's going to be okay, but it's really the Upheaval follow-up that's going to mean a lot to you. Just because the Golem isn't going to provide any damage, and I don't think there's good situations really for super awesome Fatal Bonds this game. So his positioning for Upheaval is going to be pretty critical.
And I'm wondering if Summon's Rift is really regretting giving that kill on Demon over to Arcade. When this Aghanim Scepter arrives, the split push potential is so crazy, but it's also because you don't have a nighttime or daytime controller available for Alliance. For Summon's Rift. So you potentially going to get a huge amount of heal coming into the fight. Now Maz uses Invis Room perfectly as well.
Nick was dead, I think.
Yeah, he's been waiting for this for a long, long time. And now the Illuminate's on the way. Nick actually forced after way to safety. The Purge will come in, the balls are right behind him, but he's far enough away from the Illuminate that he's guaranteed to live. He'd be lanced up and damaged down a lot, but he's still going to live.
Yep, the Force Staff coming in the clutch. Nice pickup.
Yeah, it's his own. So 4-star plus mech. It does make Darkseer a very difficult target to kill.
And now you have another Force Staff as well, so they've got multiple saving mechanisms when it comes to the Disruption Split Earth play. They also have like some additional help when Beastmaster locks somebody down with a stun. Even just one Force Staff can actually save that ally.
Oh, Alliance, they might be really regretting what they're doing at the moment. That's only if Summoner's Rift can get some vision on them, because the problem is they at least see Pycat there, as well as Admiral Bulldog, but what they don't see is the extra with a Blink Pyro Strike, the double on it, dropping down the chaotic offering. That was in combination with the Epicenter. They just destroyed Alliance. Yeah,
that's the team fight power.
They're going to get more disruptions there, but that means now the two supports are too close. The Rocket Barrage to kill up the SD, but Brax committing in very, very deep. He can't kill off Arcade, but they can at least bring down the tier 2 tower with a golem behind him.
Pycat making its way through. I mean, this is one of the big things, right? If they kill the Leshrac first, there's not that defensive mechanism.
That Illuminate really hits Nickwa hard, not to mention the fact that Lance is behind him, Doppelganger up, Disruption's going to be available, the burn is there for Gyrocopter with the double stun! Pycat actually cancelling the TP out from the Gyrocopter. Nickwa will force himself over towards the tree line, but there's no real running from this. Lightning plus the burn from the Diffusal. Alliance punish Summer's Rift. So hard. I mean, it's so little commitment.
It's a Keeper of the Light and a Leshrac, right? Like, you have to get a pick off on the Leshrac first in order to push into towers. Otherwise, he's just going to lightning spam you. Especially combined with Keeper of the Light. It's a 4-second cooldown on Lightning Storm. guess what the cooldown reduction is from Chakra Magic? It's 4 seconds. So you actually get double lightning. You have a Luna Blast that's going to come in. That's like 1,000 magic damage in an AoE just from a long distance.
Oh, the loop around. They're basically going for the side play. Brax backing up, but the roll's going to be available, but Admiral Bulldog cannot get it off in time. Needs more of that surprise attack.
Yeah, one of those situations you wish you had the Blink Dagger, but no one really goes Blink Dagger first on Beastmaster anymore.
Especially when Alliance
Necronomicon is
are playing this way.
Yeah.
Like, Alliance just want to have the Necro units, they can also just force an advantage in team fights every single time.
Yeah.
Max summons available.
So now they may be the ones taking a tier 2. They should know, though, that the ultimates are back up for Summer's Rift.
Yeah, they don't want to fight in too far. That's also the reason why you're not seeing Loda coming to the front lines. They're using Mad potentially to just disrupt and then send in more copies. Like, Loda does have that mana style.
Look what Ake's doing. He's spamming Illuminate in the trees. He knows what's up.
Yeah, and he's found Demon. Drops him down to 2/3. It's also the fact the Sandstorm is coming out of the trees now. You can't do in that area. Mad, trouble, call downs on the way, they're going to back him back in. Admiral Bulldog's caught here, and that looks like the death of Mad. Has to defensively disrupt himself now, keep him alive as the Illuminate again hits so hard into this Gyrocopter. He's low and the Lancers are following down with the Doppelganger down. Lotus looking for one, but where it's going to be the first opening. Diffuser Blade charge as well going on the Gyrocopter, and he actually dodged the Burrow Strike. The extra lands up at 15 HP. A Gyro again surviving on under 20, but there is a real problem for the Warlock. He is stranded in the tree line, goes on down, and the tier 2 tower was claimed by Alliance.
Whitebeard, the unsung hero of Summer's Rift, man. He just blinked in there, threw down an upheaval. They had no idea where he was at that point in time, and he actually slowed down 2 different heroes, one of which was Pycat, which was critically important, right? Like, Pycat throws 1 lightning, they get the kill on the Gyrocopter. If he's actually there for that fight, he probably gets even more kills, especially since Sand King, like, missed that Burrow Strike. Like, he's an easy target for some sort of setup there. But the upheaval, even though it cost him his life, probably saved his allies.
It definitely saved Trout, who, by the way, is the Gyrocopter. I know I've been just calling him by Gyro, but man, he's escaped on sub 20. Like the first engagement on the bottom, and then the big one over on top. It's just so difficult for Summer's Rift to really, like, I don't feel like even if they get the win advantage as far as the hero is down, they're not really taking the overall advantage because they're not killing off the 2 primary cores. The top 2 networks, they need Leshrac and PL to die. Both of them in the same fight before I'm going to really count it as a win for them. Because it doesn't matter what happens to SD and Coddle, or even Beastmaster for that matter.
Yeah, as long as Beastmaster gets his Necrobook 3, he's pretty happy.
It looks like he's skipping it though. It looks like he's going directly into the Blink Dagger.
Really?
Because he got the level 1, but he's still sitting on 2200. It looks like he's going for the Blink.
That would be incredibly odd. I think it's just saving up for the full Necrobook. I don't know. Maybe he's about to sell his branch and get Blink Dagger. That would be really weird to go for Necrobook 1 but not invest into Necrobook 2 and 3, which have such big upgrades. Like the amount that you get.
There it is.
It would have been better just, I think, to just go Blink Dagger in the first place.
I think he's more worried about getting the initial pick off. Alliance are probably in a position. If I read the mentality right, Alliance are looking at Summer's Rift and thinking, okay, we think we can take high ground. All we need to do is get that first pick off, and then it becomes an illusion spam to chip down buildings. And then the Raw comes back off cooldown, and then you rinse and repeat again. So you keep a lot of pressure on top lane, and everyone else comes to join it. You start your split push up, because Loda's got his BTs now available, so he can just push out the bottom lane and then come and join the rest of them once that opening is being created.
Yeah.
So it's more of like the ending game by 35-minute kind of play to do such a thing.
It's also worth noting that if this was the old Necrobook, this would not be a viable play in any way. But Necrobook 1 is more powerful than it used to be, which is something to talk about. Generally, I think what it came down to is like Admiral Bulldog was just like, you know what, I'm missing these pickoffs too often. I'm not going to invest in the Necrobook 3. I think I need to go back for the Blink Dagger. I think if he had a chance to go back in this game, he maybe would have considered Blink Dagger to begin with, and then followed up with the Necrobooks. But it's fine, like being able to see, like, okay, I'm not getting the kills that I really want to. Particularly on the Ember Spirit is one of the most critical heroes. I mean, they just have very slow stuns. Even with the Blink Dagger, Ember Spirit can still get away quite easily because they have no instant stuns. Just the animation, Brax's jump to his spirit is going to be faster than the animation of Primal Roars. So the Blink Dagger is definitely a necessity to be able to get the surprise. If Brax sees the hero coming in any way, there's no way they get a stun off in time.
Pycat's being pulled into the rest of Alliance. That's not Arcade with the Aghanim Scepter just yet, but oh man, he's so close. That's not even 100 gold. It's It's 70 gold until you have the academics pull in every single time from the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal, to be sure.
Especially the combo with the PL. Because the PL can just TP himself out to another lane, and Connor will just drag him back when they're ready to go.
The heal is also another factor to talk about, particularly in early fights. Later on, it's not going to be as big of a deal, but in early fights, it can make a big difference. So, 12 to 13, game is looking pretty even, I would say. I think Alliance really have to strike big in the next few minutes if they want to take control of the game enough that they can take tier 2 towers.
Well, they wait for the opportunity. Well, maybe not wait. Matt and Bulldog are on the hunt. This observer has been watching so much of what's happening with Summer's Rift, however. So they may find their opening. It's on the other side of the tree line. The blink down by Bulldog. The cooldown just trying to buy space here for Trout to TP out. They need the vision to go into disruption, but they can't get it in time. The tree cut down wasn't quick enough.
The ward. It's all about that ward. The smoke pops.
Found an opening. How much can he do? He actually doppelgangers out of the chaotic offering, and the illusions are still battling over towards Whitebeard. He'll run himself back past the tier 2 tower, and Loader, he wants to go in again. He just defusals the golem. Easy money, easy life.
Yeah, he wants to upgrade the defusal eventually, and it's 150 gold
Brax
for a
have an escape here? The Lance is coming in. Okay, he's going to have to set down a new one. And Nikwa, there's that problem. You surge away, you get purged out by the defusal. Admiral Bulldog, the roar on the Ember Spirit. He's got one spirit left, but it wasn't actually down. He had to cast it, so they've got the kill over on Brax. And there's 60 seconds on the sideline with no buyback available.
Yeah. The mana burn is also a pretty critical factor. Coming out for that Necronomicon, being able to get the minions on top of him instantly, you get a couple of right clicks with the mana break from the melee one, which you're talking about 75 mana there, and then the mana burn coming out from the ranged one is another 125 mana. Ember Spirit is pretty reliant on his mana pool, and it's not that great, particularly since he doesn't go a whole lot of stats. This game, he didn't even go drums, so he's actually a very low mana pool, so being able to get that jump, if you get the stun, you take away enough mana, he has no jump. Like, even if he has a spirit out there, he won't be able to activate it.
Oh, troublesome times. Sweet 13-13 is the unlucky hour for one of these teams. And right now, it looks like it's going to be Summer's Rift. They're just having too much fun. Like, Lotus back to farming again. Says a 2.4k. As far as his gold goes, he might actually consider getting the second level diffusal up a little bit sooner than later. Because he's only down to 2 charges left on that diffuser blade. And he actually needs these charges for once. Demon and Nikwa, they're moving down as quick as they can to try and catch out any of the Alliance heroes. They know that Loader doesn't have any kind of support, primarily because, again, like, you got all the vision in the world. You kind of know where he is. Loader now comes up, doppelgangers, and actually evades the Burrow Strike again from Deem. And then just runs away to safety. He is being chased by a homing missile, but it does not matter at all, especially when Admiral Bulldog's already knocking on the door of the tier 3 tower in the top lane.
Yep, classic Admiral Bulldog, being able to see the opportunities, go for the split push, and this split push will actually become way more powerful once he's got that Necronomicon 3.
He's got help behind him, because Pycat's here as well. If he gets a Blink Roar into a Split Earth stun, Trout's only going to walk it like a little bit too far out of that top lane, and he'll go down.
Yeah, particularly since Pycat's in a position where he can easily, like, 1 versus 5. Like, look at the damage from Summoner's Rift. They don't have a whole lot of physical damage right now. It's primarily coming out of the Ember Spirit, which is just kind of like a one-and-gun. Like, you pop one side of fist, and that's pretty much it, right? So the Leshrac doesn't really have much to worry about once he pops that BKB. So if Beastmaster leads with a stun, he can easily just waltz right in there, pop the BKB, and even if Summoner's Rift have 4 heroes behind the Gyrocopter, it won't matter. Leshrac will get 1 kill, potentially like 2 or 3.
Wow. Okay. BKB has just been blown over on Trouth. The Leshrac came out of nowhere. He was just up in the trees, threw out a lightning, but at the same time, if you looked at the animation, RK was dragging him back. He got recalled down to the bottom lane to join the rest of his team.
That's one of those plays, like the cheeky play where you're just like, worst case scenario, like, I get a couple of creeps or something, I do a little bit of harassment damage. Best case, I scare him into using his BKB. And that's exactly what Pycat does. So,
yeah.
And he's actually got 3k gold, so he can build into yet another item here. Not sure what his choice is going to be. At this point, like, I'm not sure if he actually needs to take up any more. You could probably go, like, straight off Dream Core at this point. The stats are really good. Obviously, the cooldown reduction is amazing, and it just makes it so Leshrac's going to be even more, like, unkillable.
I think the pigs are finally coming out as they're realizing what's going on. Yep. Summer's Rift, they start to converge, but they're being watched like a hawk, quite literally, as there is the Illuminate into the chains. Back into the Burrow Strike with a wall. Perfect combo, the counter covering as well. The Illuminate tried to help him out, but it wasn't enough. And Pycat just turns on the Nova. At least he can bring down one hero, but it's only the support Warlock. The buyback already came back in from the Keeper of the Light. The PL Loader fighting again. The Burrow Strike back down again by Demon. Going to go into the epicenter. Pycat has no protection, no control. And Arcade, Eels doesn't have it either. They try and now just isolate this fight, but we've got a battle on the top and the bottom part of the river. Travel run down south, but the Burrow Strike again from Demon. So much lifting he's doing during this game. And he'll walk up to the high ground. Nick will be blinding lighted away.
Loader's coming in with the doppelganger up the cliff. He's going to be able to catch some of these heroes.
There it is, so from Demon. He's got enough. He can throw the lance up towards Trout and then just go up to Demon as well, but they don't have enough control left. Nick was still behind the lines, and what's he doing? She got stunned up. He got mana leaked out. He was completely out of mana, and now down to 99 points. Pycat will blink himself and impulse over him down. That got really messy really quick, Cap.
Yeah, I'm really surprised there that Loda didn't commit for those kills a little bit harder. With Phantom Rush especially, he could have been able to chase down those heroes, but I suppose he realized, okay, I've won the fight, I don't want to overextend myself, we guarantee Roshan as long as I don't chase in too deep and, die to, like, say, an Ember Spirit turned around or something like that. So they now get the Aegis on Pycat, and that fight actually lasted so long that Pycat was able to have two different lives in that fight, right? Like, he died relatively early on, had to Bloodstone Suicide, and was still able to come back.
Yeah. And that actually meant that Summon's Rift gets even less from that team fight. Because you don't take Roshan, you don't take the big kill on the core you were searching for. Sure, you get rid of a couple of Bloodstone charges, but he's already back up to 8, and you're staring down the barrel of a PL who's about to finish up a full butterfly. Loader is really, really big. And up on top lane, Pycat, well, this is a very, very easy kill on Whitebeard. Jump in by Leshrac, didn't even need to use the lightning, that was just Edict and Pulse Nova. At the same time, the Ember Spirit actually goes down the mid lane. It looks like Blink, Raw, Necro units, Purge, Catcher, everything they want, and there's two big heroes to go down that'll allow them to go high ground.
Yeah, I think Ember Spirit is actually guaranteed dead if he ever gets caught by the Roar of Beastmaster. Just because if there's not follow-up, he's out of... Like, even if there isn't, like, a follow-up to Split Earth or something like that to be able to continue to control him and burst him down, I think he just loses so much mana that he can't actually jump away.
Man, Lotus is backing up. He triggers a DD rune and just walks away from the tower. But they'll beat into it now. So there goes your tier 3 tower in mid. Nickwood jumping in back with the epicenter. It hits on Mad, but that's really it. You've only picked up the SD for this one, while Pycat standing strong. Still hasn't used that BKB, and so also has the Aegis the Immortal. Brax running out of mana very, very quickly. Has the Meg charge to help him out. He's also got 10 1 charges up his sleeve. Gets a good Searing Chains onto 2. But Alliance got what they really came for. Like, they just took the mid-racks. I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself. They just took the tier 3 tower in mid. And all you really lost was the ST. That's not as bad.
I think Alliance are really showcasing what you need to do against teams that have, like, really amazing wombo combo abilities. Like, they just keep themselves very well spread. They slowly poke. Looks like they're going to get a pick off on Demon here, so free kill there.
That's a big one too, considering how much of a nuisance Demon has been during these fights. Yeah. There's either 2 or critical 1-man Burrow Strikes arriving, the epicenter taking out these support saving heroes, or potentially a lot of damage into heroes like Beastmaster early on.
Have they ever caught more than 2 heroes with a vacuum? I don't think they have.
It was a 3-man vacuum in the bottom river. That was the only time they got more.
Yeah, that was one situation. Did they have the Burrow Strike follow-up to that?
Yes.
Okay, so like that was one situation, but I think it's pretty rare. I think they've only, like, that was the only situation they've gotten more than 2 people within a vacuum.
And how do you really stop Pycat? Maybe this is one way. Nickwood, vacuum, Pycat, very, very low. Defensive disruption will be there for him. And remember, he's still got the Aegis Immortal, so he's happy to die at this point. You'd have considerable damage to the mid-racks. The SK is down for the moment. 10 more seconds until you'll see Demon back into the world of living. But they have managed to stop the push for now.
They could try and keep going with the BKB on cooldown for the Gyrocopter, but I think it's an unnecessary risk, particularly with Sand King coming back up. So they just back themselves away. They've got really good control of the map. They've got Loda. I mean, they're going to, like, economically wise, they're just going to skyrocket at this point in time, right? Because there's no way that Summer's Rift can actually stop the push power. Like, if they go for a kill on the Phantom Lancer, they have to commit, like, Epicenter, Warlock's Ultimate, Vacuum. Like, they have to throw so much to be able to kill the Phantom Lancer. And if they don't use that much, he's going to doppelgang away, and he's going to be recalled to the other side of the map where he's going to continue to farm up. So Summoner's Rift are just going to be at a farm disadvantage for a very, very long time. Alliance could probably build this up to about a 20,000 gold lead.
Jump in. They found it over on Trough, and it was just the Observer Ward that set up for it, just sitting on that high ground. And Trough's down for 67 seconds, and this is what Alliance should push just to force the buyback. If they don't have the buyback come out, then it doesn't really matter, but it's whittling away at everything Summoner's Rift has got. As we get a 38-minute mech coming in for Arcade. And they may have found another one. Demon and Loda playing on that top lane, but Demon's going to TP back now.
Yeah. Demon has a Shiva's. He could get his level 3 Epicenter. That'll be pretty important. I'm not entirely sure what he goes from there. I think almost an Aghanim Scepter just for the cooldown reduction. It's not much, but it's something. 20-second cooldown reduction, just because they need to be able to utilize that Epicenter for more than just killing, one or two heroes that they catch with the Vacuum Burrow Strike. So, I think that might be his item afterwards. Veiled Discord wouldn't be bad with all the large amount of magic damage they're throwing out. Still, I mean, the Gyrocopter, the problem is the Gyrocopter's just becoming a non-factor as time goes on, and he's not getting farm, he's not getting physical damage, his magical damage is becoming less and less important, and then you just left with the Ember Spirit at this point, who is still sitting on the same amount of farm he's been sitting on for the last 8 minutes or so. Battle Fury plus Crystallis. So he's not getting any progression in his items. If they were actually sitting like a little bit closer to the Phantom Lancer, you could see Summoner's Rift just kind of turtling this one out and winning the late game. But at this point, Alliance are so far ahead.
This is big. This is big. The Raw's going to come in. How much mana? Oh! Okay. Screw the mana burn time. I was thinking maybe we wouldn't have an escape mechanism, but that damage output was just ridiculous up against the Ember. No buyback. 70-second window now created for Alliance.
Yeah, pretty sick stuff. They're going to be able to push uphill, probably take this mid-racks. I don't think Summoner's Rift defend. I mean, they try to, just because they have so much good team fight. We'll see what they get out of it. Oh, Pycat's actually back at base, so I think they're good to defend, actually. Never mind.
You've got to keep her at the light.
Yeah.
Pycat's down to the front lines. The mid lane is not going to survive for long. Loda's running up. The Necro units are doing most of the scout work as they came in through the bottom lane. And Nikwa, he's already down to 2/3 of his mana. Just by a couple of PLs that are chasing him.
He's keeping the illusion on to make sure there's no Blink Dagger play from Nikwa. Oh, he sees a really good vacuum. Time to set up.
Oh, he gets 3. Burrow Strike early on turn, but the Mage Hunter's there with the Illumina to fly in. How much damage is enough to kill off the SD? But you've just committed your full combo for that one. And Nikwa, he's got no way to get back inside the base safely. The Pulse Nova just tears him a new one. And you'll see Loda come straight back up the mid. They want to try and bring down this mid-racks. The Lance dodged by Demon with the Sandstorm going to work. But there's no backdoor regeneration to protect this racks. So they take care of the creep wave. They'll take care of the top with no tier 2 towers remaining outside the base. They can go for more if they want it, but Demon? Okay.
They absolutely go to. I mean, without a Darkseer and with no ultimate up on Demon, like, how can they defend? Gyrocopter doesn't do enough damage with Flat Cannon to push him back. Ember Spirit, his Sleight of Fist are going to be annoying. They still have enough sustain to be able to deal with that. I think they can absolutely take at least this tier 3 tower.
Yeah, well, they're going to give it a shot. Pycat's still in the front lines. There's your upheaval. Coming out from just that right beer, try and slow it down. Demon doesn't have Epicenter, however. So keep your eyes peeled on that one, but again, Doppelganger allowing Loda not to get away to safety, but he's locked in the corner. The Force Staff are getting back out again. A Sleight of Fist, but the Hex coming from Pycat. They want Demon dead. Raw, Lances, the mana is low. The Fatal Bonds is at least down on top of Alliance, and they're taking considerable amounts of damage here, especially Admiral Bulldog. He's not looking too healthy. He's going to TP back to base and then be brought back in again by RK later on. But remember what they came here for. They're here for the racks. Man's not looking too healthy either. He might want to TP himself out too. Yeah, there it is. And then they just pull them straight back again once they're healthy. It's a never-ending siege of the living.
Yep, it's good time to be Alliance when it's daytime, man. You just keep on throwing hero after hero. They've got infinite mana spam with the Phantom Lancer constantly throwing out lances. He just chips down buildings with his illusions. And now they're going to make the full committal here. Scythe of Ice being picked up by Pycat means that he can actually jump on the Ember Spirit potentially.
Yeah, that he could. Or control, as we saw before over on Demon. So there's no more extra Burrow Strikes. The Lance thrown up to Warlock, trying to mop him down. Pycat. They've already managed to bring down the range rack so far. The follow-up stun on Nikwa. doing no real effect at all. Braxos responded fist, but the Rack's already taken, and again Loda perfect on the doppelganger timing. He's able to dodge these attacks. There's no mana available for the gyrocopter, trying to get back into the world where it's safe. And maybe Brax can find some kind of opening over on that, but well, he's only got one spirit to jump back out. Burrow strike in from Demon. They do find the Shadow Demon. But do they get further away? Because again, we go into this doppelganger attack. They end up bringing down the Ember Spirit. Buyback gets a bubble, so he'll come back in a fight with the Epicenter from Demon and a double Burrow strike. Admiral Bulldog and Arcade not too happy here, but at the same time, Loda can go to town, make more of himself. Doppelganger out of the upheaval. The columns are finally hitting the deck too. Admiral Bulldog so low, 80 HP, still in the middle of the fight, and he survives through it all. The Illumines are out. I just don't see a way they can repel, and neither does Summer's Rift. They call GG, and Alliance will advance themselves through now as the winners of their first game in this group stage. To see if they'll face up against either Lunt Conspiracy or Evil Geniuses. That is one of their two opponents coming up.
Yep, really well played by Alliance. Just too much good synergy on their team. I mean, there was even one thing that we did mention, which was like Mana Lake works really well when you've got two different heroes that can burn mana. The Necronomicon on Beastmaster plus the Phantom Lancer Diffusal. They had the split pushing options. They had superior sieging power. Like Summoner Seraph are very much a team that like they have to fully